Today's special guests are people I am so thankful to know. They are Mississippi born, Mississippi educated, Mississippi proud. They're progressive, future minded community leaders who put their money and their time where their mouth is. Oh, and they also make great beer. Introducing the one, the only, Mark and Leslie Henderson. Let's go find them.
Hello!
Jaimee!
Hey, y'all didn't quite get the memo about the dress.
No, you're the one who didn't get the memo, but that's fine.
You got the hair and I didn't get the memo?
It's okay. We'll go over safety orientation later.
Well, fantastic. You guys, this is Leslie, this is Mark.
Hey, guys.
They own Lazy Magnolia. How old is this brewery, by the way?
Well, I'm only 36, so it really can't be that old, right?
15 years.
15 years old.
Almost to the day.
All right, you guys, well, I am looking for a tour. Who's gonna do it?
I'll do it. Let's go. So, I mean, this is the magic of beer, right? So it's not flour. These are all malted barley, right? And every one of these is a different kind of malted barley or wheat, right? And every one has a different flavor. Get a dive all the way in. Head first.
You're excited about this.
Oh, no. And then,
Head first.
Yeah, head first. I mean, deep. Breathe that in, right? And then tell me what you think it smells like.
Let me do it again.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Really? Do you know hops are actually in the same genus as marijuana? So the magic of brewing beer starts here in what we call the mash tun. And what we do is we'll actually pump, we'll take all of those malted barleys we saw downstairs, right? We'll take them through a mill, crunch them to the consistency of grits, mix them with hot water, and 30 minutes later we have pancake syrup. And so we pump it into this vessel, and this vessel is really cool. It's called a lauter tun, and it's actually, it's got a false bottom in it. That is, it's a colander inside of a pot, and we pump the mash in on top of the colander, let the liquid strain through.
Oh, and so that is gonna be beer.
That is going to be beer.
What kind of beer?
Southern Pecan, our number one beer.
Your number one beer.
Yep.
It's
Accounts for
pecan.
about 80% of our sales, right? So the last thing is that since we've got now solids in this, right, between hops and all of that kind of stuff, right, now we pump it into the whirlpool here. We spin the tank around, it cools the sides, all of the solids get sucked up into the middle, and we can pull off the wort, the pre-fermented beer.
Okay.
We pull it off the side.
And then where does it go from there?
The cellar.
Let's see that.
Let's go check it.
Okay.
So you asked,
What
what do we do with wort, right? And we pump wort down into the cellar. And what you'll notice is all of these have conical bottoms to them, right? So the bottoms float down. We'll start with a slug of yeast at the bottom. We'll pump in fresh wort. The yeast wake up, right? And they do what yeast do, right? Woo! Right? They have a good time.
Is that what they do?
Oh, yeah. If you look at them under a microscope, you can see them. They go, woo! You know,
And is it all
do,
the same beer or different beer?
Every one's a different beer.
Oh. Can
Everyone's
you,
a different batch.
Taste any of it?
You want to try it?
Yeah.
It's going to shoot out of there at like lightning velocity. Put your glasses on. Okay, here we go. You ready? Come on.
That's good.
It's good.
Everyone should drink beer like this. Could you not? Can people do that on a tour?
No.
Oh. It's
No,
just for miscongeniality.
for most people that would be illegal because that would be untaxed beer.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to ask you to spit that out. But beer goes in, bottles go in, and caps go in. And then, so it all comes in, it gets rinsed, it gets filled. Now you'll notice the filling is behind this crazy steel guard, right? That's because we lose bottles on a regular basis. This machine runs at 2 bottles a second. So ticka, 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 and we will run it for 8 hours. We'll put right at 1,000 cases on the floor, 24,000 beers.
All right, I have a few more questions I'd like to ask you. So after the break, we're going to take Mark over in to sit down and have a little discussion about how this whole thing really got
It's been a
started.
pleasure having you for the tour. Cheers.
I don't know about you, but I loved that tour. Thank you so much, Mark, for that. For this Thanksgiving, I just want to say thank you so much for being a sponsor, by the way.
Yeah.
He's been one of my original sponsors.
Back in the beginning.
Yes, back in the beginning. So tell me a little bit about the back at the beginning of your business.
Yeah, no, this is all about her, right? I mean, she comes home one day, and she's a chemical engineer, got a master's degree in bioprocessing, right? She comes home in, I think, late 2002, maybe early '03, and says, hey, look, I want to brew beer for a living. I was like, are you nuts? And she goes, is that relevant?
And then you did?
And so I said, this is illegal, right? And she goes, is it? And I'm
It
like,
was illegal?
well, so everybody thought it was illegal because Mississippi was one of the first states to enact prohibition. It goes all the way back to 1907, women's suffrage movement, right? The ability to vote, right? Mississippi enacts prohibition early. And that was actually kind of her point in the whole discussion. She's like, so when was it made illegal? I was like, well, it'd been 1907, 1908, whenever that was.
It was
exactly.
illegal to brew beer in Mississippi.
Beer, all alcohol was illegal in the state of Mississippi starting in 1907 or 8.
Wow.
And she goes, so how illegal is it? I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, I mean, that's 100 years ago. What do you think the fine is? And I was like, man, that's pure genius. Because, I mean, if it's $10, which would have been a big deal 100 years ago, right? Then
Not a big deal anymore.
Sheriff comes by once a week, picks up his check for $70 and a case of beer, right? and so I was like, all right, fair enough. We'll figure it out. And it turns out, long story short, it wasn't illegal. It's just that everybody thought it was illegal.
So there were no places brewing beer in Mississippi all the way up until 2002.
No, this would go all the way to 2005.
2005.
So 2003, I'm actually doing all the research, right? I eventually make it up to the head of the Mississippi State Tax Commission, the regulatory authority for beer. Notice that's not the ABC. That's, beer and taxes, right? It's all about the money. And I talked to Ronnie Lynch. Ronnie Lynch is the special guy there, and he goes, yeah, you can brew beer. And I'm like, are you sure? He goes, yep, I'm the guy. And I said, Ronnie, how come there are no breweries in the state of Mississippi? This is 2003. And he goes, I don't know. You're the first person to ever ask.
Wow.
2003, 21st century.
So that is why the oldest brewing company in Mississippi is only 15 years old.
That's right.
Because you had the audacity to ask.
I asked the question.
I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
When you finally get done with this phase in your life and you go to retire,
what
is it that you ultimately want to be?
So when that day comes, right, the Mark Henderson Endowment for the Arts is $10 million. And when I get to that point, right, I'm going to be like, I'm out and I'm going to go paint. I got a little studio. I like to oil paint.
He's going to go paint.
And I'm going to go paint.
Jesse, I have a little something for you. This is my gift to Mark from Miss Congeniality. You want to read it, if you can read my handwriting?
When you're ready, this gift is waiting. Thanks for everything, Jaimee. But I got to open it up.
You got to open it up.
All right, let's get in here.
Let's get...
All right, lots of paper. Look at that, right? A couple of canvases. I'll have to do something for you now, right? And brushes and some paints.
Now that's acrylic. I didn't know you wanted to do oil.
You know what?
But you can start on acrylic.
I got to learn somewhere.
All right. Now, do you have a little gift to give our lucky winner?
I do. For your viewers, right? What we have is what we call a porch pack. It involves everything you need to make your porch a wonderful place, right?
Thank you so much for being with us. The information about the giveaway will be on misscon.tv on my website. Happy Thanksgiving. Stay tuned for more Miss Congeniality. What are you most thankful for?
I am right now most thankful for the change in the weather. I am not a fan of summer. I love winter because you can only take off so many articles of clothing.
Oh, most thankful for? In this moment in time, just God's grace. I'm just so blessed and grateful for the love and support of my family and my friends and our community.